Welcome to Creative Genius Labs. I'm your host, Zane Wild. Today, on Creative Genius Labs, what if the very thing that makes you an outsider is actually your greatest strength? Today, we explore how Zaha Hadid defied expectations, but the real shock comes when you discover the price she paid for daring to dream beyond the lines, and what that means for you. A single lamp illuminates a drafting table. Blueprints cascade across its surface like architectural waterfalls. An older woman, Zaha Hadid, hunches forward, her breath shallow. Each line she draws seems to defy gravity itself. You can almost feel the tension in the room, the weight of unfinished dreams, of a vision too radical for its time. This is not just a moment. This is a revolution waiting to be unleashed. Baghdad, 1950. A young girl stands in her bedroom, not playing with dolls, but constructing entire cities from clay. Her hands move with mathematical precision. Her father, a progressive politician, watches her with a knowing smile. He sees something the world will take decades to understand. This is not just a child, this is a force of nature. You might think you know what limits look like. Zaha Hadid was born to shatter them. Imagine being a woman, an Arab, an architect with ideas so bold they make the establishment tremble. In the mid-20th century, these weren't just challenges, they were battlegrounds. For Zaha, every draft, every design was an act of rebellion. Her early years were a masterclass in resilience. While other students drew straight lines and predictable structures, she was sketching explosions of possibility. Geometric forms that seemed to breathe, designs that whispered, "Why conform when you can transform?" Mathematics became her first language, not just numbers, but the poetry of space and form. At the American University in Beirut, she wasn't just studying. She was preparing for a war most couldn't see coming, the war against architectural mediocrity. And powerful she was. Moving to London in 1972 was like entering enemy territory, a male-dominated field, a world that preferred its architects predictable. But Zaha was anything but conventional. Her early years were marked by designs that existed only on paper. The paper architect, they called her. Winning competitions, but never seeing her visions constructed. The Hong Kong Peak competition, a triumph quickly shelved. Winning, she learned, was not the same as succeeding. But each rejection was not a defeat, it was fuel. Late nights became her battlefield, ink-stained hands, heated discussions. The smell of possibility mixed with sweat and determination, clients who couldn't understand, critics who couldn't see beyond their narrow perspectives. Pressure mounted, deadlines loomed, budget constraints threatened to crush her spirit. But Zaha wouldn't compromise. She knew that to lose her unique voice would be to lose everything. 1993, the Vitra Fire Station, her first built project, emerged like a manifesto of defiance. No parades, no celebrations, just quiet validation after years of being told her ideas were impossible. The Russian avant-garde whispered in her designs. Kazimir Malevich's suprematism danced through her lines. This wasn't just architecture. This was a revolution drawn in concrete and steel. Suddenly, she wasn't just an architect. She became the queen of the curve. Her signature style represented more than design. It was a rebellion, against rigid thinking. Each building she created seemed to challenge gravity itself, to say, limitations are just suggestions. You might look at a building and see walls. Zaha saw potential, possibility. A canvas waiting to be reimagined. Her curve became more than a design element. It became a philosophy, a way of seeing the world not as it is, but as it could be. If you're enjoying Creative Genius Labs, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Master Creators Challenge. Unlock hacks that make Da Vinci, Banksy, and Lady Gaga creative giants. Now, back to the episode. Success was never going to be simple for Zaha. The more recognition she gained, the more resistance she encountered. Clients found her designs too radical. Peers whispered about her being a diva, a term rarely used for male architects pushing boundaries. Triple discrimination became her constant companion. A woman, an Arab, a revolutionary. Each identity was a barrier, each barrier another challenge to overcome. The Cardiff Opera House rejection was more than a setback, it was a battlefield. Her design, brilliant, audacious, was deemed too unconventional. But Zaha understood something profound. Rejection was not defeat, it was redirection. By the early 2000s, her reputation was transforming. In 2004, she became the first woman to win the Pritzker Prize, architecture's highest honor. But this wasn't just a personal victory, this was a statement. A declaration that brilliance knows no gender, no geographical boundary. Her buildings began to emerge across the globe. Each structure told a story. The Guangzhou Opera House, the Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku, designs that seemed to flow like liquid, defying traditional architectural constraints. You might see a building. Zaha saw a living, breathing entity. 4 nights without sleep, sketching, designing, pushing boundaries. This was not workaholism. This was a mission. Her studio grew from 5 to 400 employees, not just a practice, but a movement. Miami 2016, a sudden illness, bronchitis that would claim her life. But even in her final moments, Zaha was working, designing, creating. Her death was not an ending, it was a transition. Posthumous projects continued. Her vision outlived her physical form. 950 projects across 44 countries became her legacy. But her true impact was deeper than concrete and steel. She didn't just design buildings, she redesigned possibility. In the Middle East, where she was born, women now outnumber men in architecture programs. Her curve became a symbol of breaking free from limitations. Here's the lesson that burns brightest. Your uniqueness is not a weakness, it is your most powerful weapon. Zaha Hadid didn't ask for permission to be brilliant, she simply was. She transformed an entire industry by refusing to conform, by seeing the world not as it was, but as it could be. So here's your challenge. What curve are you afraid to draw? What conventional line are you ready to shatter? Your oddness is not a flaw. It is your signature, your power, your revolution. Dare to be uncompromisingly, unapologetically you. On the next episode of Creative Genius Labs, Zaha Hadid's story is a testament to breaking barriers, proving that architecture is more than just blueprints, but a battleground for visionaries. But what happens when the very system meant to support art becomes its greatest oppressor? Imagine a world where creative genius clashes with the iron fist of political control. Next, we journey into the tumultuous world of early 20th century Russia, where one filmmaker's revolutionary vision ignited both international acclaim and the wrath of Stalin. What price is too high for artistic integrity? Stick around to uncover the tragic brilliance of a cinematic pioneer, whose story will leave you questioning the power of art in the face of tyranny. Next week, we're diving into the captivating world of filmmakers and storytelling innovators, exploring how these visionaries reshaped narratives and pushed the boundaries of cinematic expression. Get ready to discover the groundbreaking techniques and the personal sacrifices that fueled their creative revolutions. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, The Master Creators Challenge. 7 days, 7 creative legends. Unlock your inner creative genius using the secret tactics of history's most revolutionary artists. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/cgl. Thanks for watching.